Andrew Breitbart said that politics is downstream of culture. And finally, after many years, we're seeing that mentality embraced on the right with new cultural forms and expressions and events and everything else. Here to talk more about it on this episode of the Matt Forney Show is Lady Astor. Thanks for coming on the show, Lady Astor. For the people in the audience who don't know who you are, could you just give a brief overview of yourself and your work?
Well, I've been on X, previously known as Twitter, for now 15 years, going on 16. And I have a backstory that begins in Argentina. Irish, Italian, Catholic in Argentina.
A blasphemous combination from the perspective of New Yorkers, but continue.
Yes. And not strict. You know, I would say that like I'm very inclined to mysticism, like that which would rustle some feathers. But because of that, I studied philosophy, and my specialty was always ancient philosophy. I was into Platonism. I worked with Professor Thomas Robinson, who was president of the Platonic Society back in the day. Now I've evolved into more Aristotelian views, but that's my first love. And so I've been online for a long time. People know me for being a guest at Caribbean Rhythms, not once, but twice. I think that people also know me for being a Milei supporter and advocate from the very beginning. And my personal backstory, I started to get close to the American right around 2014, 2015. I lost my father the days prior to Trump going down the escalator. And for some reason, because maybe like Trump has an energy similar to my dad, perhaps because they shared birthdays. Trump's birthday is on the 15th of June. My dad's was on the 19th.
That's Flag Day.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And I saw him go down that escalator, and something inside me said, yes, that's him. That's it. I don't know. I felt something. And my family, we are the Bagatin. We are the Bagatos in the tarot deck, in the Visconti Sforza tarot deck, which is one of the first one. They had depictions of the ancient families of northern Italy, and my family is depicted. So when I was a little girl, my grandfather, my nonno Sinesio, used to say, you will once meet someone who will be like a king, and you will do what our family has always done, which is to rally and advocate and advise such a king. And that was my entry into American politics, because I felt something was wrong about the culture, the turn that the culture had taken. Initially, a libertarian, but a libertarian so fed up that it was impossible to not recognize the limitations of the ideology in order to stop the deluge coming from the left, which was unbearable at the time. So I became more and more involved with my opinions online. And Fortunately, I started making friends with my mutuals, people like you, some of whom, I've known for so many years and always seeking to support. And I've worked in entertainment for almost my entire life. I started working at nightclubs when I was 16 years old. I had fake ID, so I started going to nightclubs when I was 12 years old. Yes, I did leave my house. Yes, my parents didn't allow me to do these things, but I did them anyway.
There was a time where kids did do those things, and it was seen as perfectly normal.
Yes, actually, I jumped from my window to go and see The Exploited in concert. And I recall that my boyfriend at the time, Bruno, he was a punk rocker, and I believe that he actually stole the ticket for me. So nobody had any money. It was Argentina in the 90s, and we just did things. And so all my expertise for many, many years of running events, I've owned nightclubs in Barcelona, in Ibiza, in Paris, in London, in Berlin. I worked at all the very well-known, infamous nightclubs, yes, including Berghain. Mm-hmm. So with all my experience, at one point I started thinking, what can I give the right that it really, truly needs? And after the darkness of the 2020 pandemic insanity, even more so, because before that, I used to work for the Jagermeister Liquor Company as PR and running events all over Latin America, from Miami to Ushuaia, because, of course, Miami is the capital of Latin America.
Yeah. I always thought that was a joke, but no, it's real.
It is real. So we Argentines adore Miami Beach specifically, not so much other parts of the city. So, well, basically, I lost everything, and I was imprisoned for a longer time than any other place, because Argentina had the longest lockdown in the planet.
I think they didn't even reopen the borders until late 2021.
This is true. And even then, with limitations until 2022, and to come here to America was impossible, because Biden had said that the unvaccinated could not enter the country, and that was not lifted until May 2023.
Oh, yeah. It was difficult for even like Americans who weren't vaccinated to get in, because the policy was if you weren't vaccinated, you had to get a PCR test within 24 hours of your flight, which is, I was living in Mexico at the time. It's borderline, we know Mexicans, it's borderline impossible to get anything done on time in Mexico. So it was very, very frustrating. I can't imagine what it would have been like for someone in your position.
I had not, thank God I have different skills. I worked for a German company doing translations for most of the pandemic. If it hadn't been because of that, I don't know what I would have done, because imagine, all the clubs were closed, all the restaurants were closed, all the bars were closed. I couldn't leave the country even. But then comes 2023, and then after that, Trump tries again, and I have been a veteran of every single meme war now, a matter of great pride to me. And I was invited to many of the galas and to the inauguration itself, thanks to some very beloved patrons who like me very much, and I love them back. Steve and Diane Galebach, who have a wonderful foundation called Floracion that do amazing work in Central America, specifically with children. They helped me get to DC for the inauguration, and the emotion of being with my friends, with my actual friends, the people who like me for who I am, and they value my real opinions, the people for whom I don't have to hide any views whatsoever. Just seeing them, being able to hug them, kiss them, and being in their presence was a matter of great emotion. And I came out of that thinking, okay, now I know what's the best thing I can give to the ride. It's all my experience and skills into producing wonderful, ephemeral moments that can be memorable. So the spaces, thinking about how to create these spaces, and they had to be nice. They had to be elevated spaces. It couldn't be just anything.
Couldn't be some rundown basement, with pools of beer on the floor.
No warm beer, no shoddy basements. I want people to feel special because they are. And that's where the idea for Delphica Society came about. And why the name? Going back to the beginning of our conversation, it's my love for Greek and Roman philosophy and culture and mythology. And I thought, okay, so the Oracle of Delphi was the center of the ancient world, the omphalos, the ombelico del mondo, like we Italians say, because my mother is Italian and I'm very infused with Italian culture.
My mother's Italian too.
So yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You can never extricate yourself from that. So I thought, okay, so the Oracle of Delphi, the Sibylla Delphica, who's also depicted in the Sixtine Chapel, she could be a great hostess for these times that we are, living in. So that was the origin story. And the first official Delphica event was Doug Mackey's Ricky Bond fundraiser that I hosted in Miami.
That was about a year ago, I believe.
Yeah, it was in May last year. It was great. Everyone had such a good time. And I could see the excitement in people's faces by just being there. I hosted it at a 5-star boutique hotel with a Michelin-rated restaurant. I had a wonderful menu. It was at the rooftop of this hotel. We had the entire rooftop for ourselves. I brought DJs. I brought live performers. It was truly a magical evening. The weather was perfect because it wasn't as it was not midsummer in Miami. That can be a little bit heavy. So from that experience, I felt, okay, I have to keep on going. And the idea for Delphica, it's a private members club, but at the moment, what we have been doing are launches of the different chapter cities that we have. And now, within the next month, we will start selling memberships from our website. And the idea is to build a network of events, venues, and bring people together. I want to support other people who are hosting events too. I want Delphica to be producing bigger, different things, sometimes more eclectic. We have now 6 chapter cities in America and 3 in Buenos Aires. I seek to expand it to other cities in Latin America. I can reveal that next month there's going to be a Delphica in Sao Paulo in Brazil.
I believe you're also going to expand to Europe at some point.
Yes. I already have a couple of cities in Europe penciled down for this year. They're Rome. There's a small town in Sicily where I'm planning to do something in July. There's Paris, there's London, there's Budapest. So I'm working. Oh, there's Amsterdam too. I had this conversation this very morning. And there's even people in Japan, in Tokyo, who want to have a Delphica. And there's something about it. It's because it's what it makes people feel.
Yes. There's this cultural element is very important, and I believe what you're doing is just as important as what people who are involved in direct political advocacy and lobbying are doing. But it's also, like I said, the feeling of camaraderie. I've actually, if I'm sure you're familiar with Jared Taylor. Yeah,
absolutely.
He puts the American Renaissance Conference on every year. I've been to a couple of those, and he sold them in part. You're not just going to see speakers and stuff. That's all cool, but you're also meeting like-minded people who are on the same wavelength. People that you probably wouldn't encounter normally in your day-to-day life, and you can form friendships and connections that last forever. forever. Like I've met a lot of great people at some of these events in New York and elsewhere, and a lot of them have become close friends of mine.
Yes, and I think that's one of the most magical things about the gatherings is the cognizance that you are part of something, that you're not a weirdo, because there's a very alienating element in the digital realm because you cannot see people. So you're always doubting if these people exist,
Yeah.
if they're real. You recall that 10 years ago, there were no women on the internet.
Yes.
Still,
There were no women in these circles at all.
yeah. And I love to feel that I've been a pioneer and I opened the door for other women to dare inhabit our spaces. And I promise, ladies, most of these men are absolutely wonderful. Most of them attractive. Most of them are professionals, have great jobs. And if you don't come to Delphica, you will never know.
Yeah. It's funny because I've been going to various events in New York along these lines since I moved back, and it's you see a ton of women there now. You would have never seen any women aside from the occasional wife of someone at an Amaran event 10 years ago. In part it's because this sounds so reductive, but it's like the right has become cool. There's a certain cultural cachet, and it's in part due to people like you raising the bar and bringing culture to the forefront when the right ignored it for the longest time.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why I insist on hosting in special, beautiful venues that are curated. I take care of every minimum detail, even the lighting, flowers, the location of like the furniture. I will move everything around if I don't feel that it's conducive to people hanging out and exchanging and being part of the conversation. I always try to have great catering, always like the highest quality on everything, open bar, live entertainment, because it's if you feel that you are in a beautiful space and everything looks good and you feel appreciated. If you are consigned to a horrible space, you're always in the sidelines, you start to believe that you have no worth. And this is absolutely noxious for any cultural endeavor. And furthermore, what I want to do with Delphica is to enhance the cultural and artistic aspect. I want to have book launches. I want to have film premieres. I want to do art shows. I want to have performances. I want to bring DJs that are actually relevant. Because I've been working in all these clubs, festivals, I still work in the music industry as of now. Why? Because I'm effective at what I do. And at the end of the day, people always considered me a little bit of a weirdo. So, now it's not as it was 10 years ago where you said you supported Trump and you were some sort of demon.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is really important. Again, raising the bar because, there has been a bit of a cultural renaissance on the right in the past 5 years, starting with Dime Square and in 2021. But a lot of people are still doing the same things they were doing 5 years ago, and they haven't really evolved. You're bringing genuine production values, experience in the industry. This is something we've talked about privately, but I remember there's an interview with Jack Antonoff, the famous music producer, and he said the biggest problem with Dime Square is that he didn't have a band, and that's why it wouldn't last.
I
didn't really realize the meaning of that, but it was not just an absence of an important cultural element, but also having a band would force people to upgrade their production values. Because you can have a literary reading in someone's basement, but you can't have a band there. Okay, you can have a band for 5 minutes before the cops show up, but you're really raising the bar and making it so like this, you're bringing real production values, real professionality where it is sorely needed.
Thank you. Yes, this is a goal of mine, and I want to take advantage of this moment to call on anyone who wants to participate in any way that they see fit in the Delphica Society events, And also, if you want a Delphica event in your town, why not? Let me know. DM me.
Right, we're expanding. I mean,
Yes.
you're expanding.
Yeah.
So, in closing, is there anything else you'd like to bring up, Lady Astor, related to this?
Just that we have to embrace the values of truth and beauty in everything we do, and we have to embody them.
And where can people follow your work, follow Delphica?
Well, there's an X account for Delphica Society. It's at Delphica Society. They can follow me, Lady_Astor at X. Then there's a Luma page for Delphica where we announce and people can subscribe to be updated. And we're launching our website, delphicasociety.com, just all together, delphicasociety.com. And soon we're starting to sell the memberships monthly and yearly that will allow you to attend not only the Delphica Society events, but also the events that are thrown by affiliates of ours like Passage Press or Vauban Books.
Awesome. And if Delphica hasn't come to your city yet, it will be very soon, expanding. But thank you for coming on, Lady Astor.
It's a great pleasure, Matt.
Illegimi non carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. I'm Matt Forney with Lady Astor, and we are out.